from. They have access to millions, but they daren't spend it.
Writs have been issued against the two paediatricians at the centre of the Cleveland child abuse controversy, Dr. Marietta Higgs and Dr. Jeffrey Wyatt, and against Cleveland County Council. The writs, issued on behalf of three of the families caught up in the affair, allege negligence by the doctors and council. The families' lawyers say there'll be test cases and others could follow.
Parents had been waiting for the Cleveland report before taking their grievances to the courts. A writ from one family alleges negligence and assault of their children by Doctors Higgs and Wyatt and negligence against the county council.
The family feel that they have been grievously wronged, that there was a slur on their name, and because of the position of the father of these children, it could have had disastrous effects upon him so far as his employment is concerned, let alone his general standing in society.
The future of the two consultants will be reviewed by a 5-member panel of the Northern Regional Health Authority, which admits a difficult and delicate decision lies ahead.
The doctor's position has been reviewed throughout this crisis as the various information has come to us. Firstly, the complaints from parents and from nursing staff, then the judgments of the wardship proceedings. This report is the first major and authoritative judgment on the complexities of the case. So we'll be taking into account all the comments that are made about the doctors and also about other people's role.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Cleveland County Council has set up a working party to consider the position of its employees criticised. These include the Social Services Director, Mike Bishop, and the Child Abuse Consultant, Sue Richardson. The head of the working party says it won't be a witch hunt or a whitewash.
The government says next year's rate rises in England and Wales could be less than 2%, providing local authorities keep their spending steady in real terms. The Environment Secretary, Nicholas Ridley, also said 8 local authorities, including 7 in London, are to lose part of their government grant because their rates are higher than a limit set by the government. The Shadow Environment Secretary, John Cunningham, said that was an act of enduring political spite.
The real cost of phone bills should come down over the next 4 years. The consumer watchdog Oftel has imposed new restrictions on British Telecom. From next summer, price rises will be held down to 4.5% less than the rate of inflation, and the current freeze on BT prices will be extended until next August.
The government has given its backing to an experimental scheme in Coventry, which will make it an offence to drink alcohol in some public places. It'll take effect in the autumn and will apply to certain streets, parks and recreation grounds in the city. It's intended to try and control the increasing number of alcohol-related crimes, and offenders could face fines of up to £100.
Iran has been marking Death to America Day and burying more of the victims from the airliner shot down by the American Navy in the Gulf last Sunday. More than 60 of them were carried in funeral processions through the streets of Tehran.
By Iranian standards, the public display of grief and anti-American feeling was restrained today. Behind a line of nearly 70 coffins outside the Parliament building, a crowd of several thousands chanted and shouted slogans. They were addressed by President Ali Khamenei, who called the Americans war criminals, but who made no specific threats of revenge or counterattack. In a peculiarly Iranian and inaccurate reference to the fate of Middle East hostages, he said hostages were never killed, unlike innocent airline passengers. The whole event followed the rather muted tone of reaction to the shooting down of the Airbus, and the coffins were carried off for burial, almost just another set of casualty figures in the protracted war against Iraq. This is Kate Adie for the 9 o'clock news in Tehran.
The Soviet Union has launched the world's most advanced spacecraft on a mission to Mars. Millions of people watched the takeoff, shown live on Soviet television. The craft has been equipped to explore the planet's surface and could lead the way to the first manned mission. The journey will take 6 months, and the craft will also send devices to explore the surface of one of the planet's 2 moons.
And now we go back to the main news of the day, the disaster at the Piper Alpha oil platform in the North Sea. We've just received this report from Clive Ferguson.
Less than a quarter of one of the North Sea's biggest platforms now remains. These latest pictures show the extent of destruction unleashed by a gas leak. Not quite 24 hours ago, 229 men were working, relaxing and sleeping here on the Piper Alpha oil platform, 120 miles out into the North Sea, northeast of Aberdeen. Construction work and equipment needed to bring a new field on stream meant about 30 extra men were aboard. Tonight, Piper Alpha bears little resemblance to an oil production platform.
Now, tonight's other headlines. 6 people have been injured in a bomb explosion at a swimming baths in Belfast. And a solicitor who laundered money from the Brinksmat bullion robbery has been sent to jail for 12 years.
And tonight's main story. Clouds of smoke still hang tonight over the wreckage of Piper Alpha. There, more than 100 miles out in the North Sea, they mark the world's worst ever oil field disaster and the place where, almost certainly now, 164 oilmen died. From the 9 o'clock news, good night.
Now the news in the southeast. The Metropolitan Police have offered £75,000 compensation to the family of Blair Peach, the teacher who died during